Okay, so Frogger, 6-minute AMRAP of 7 overhead squats, 14 sumo deadlift high pulls. You'll rest 1 minute, and then you're going to do 3 rounds of 14 bent over dumbbell rows and 7 frog jumps. Yeah, mark your time the first time with your AMRAP, record that score, and then your time for your, how many rounds you did in your AMRAP, and then your time for your 3 rounds, and you can just put it, log your score accordingly. So your overhead squat, we are really looking for that overhead position today. So when you push that bar overhead, I'm just using an empty broomstick, no weight required here. If you already have a broomstick with water bottles taped to the end, that's okay. Just make sure that your grip is wide enough. All right, you can get as much shoulder flexion back over your head as you can. All right, so we're holding that bar, and I'm pushing it towards the ceiling, but keeping my shoulder blades engaged. So I set my scapula, but push my arms towards the ceiling. So I'm kind of moving the shoulders away while I'm pushing the shoulders down. So, and I'm also going to open my armpits forward. So if I grab this bar and I pretend I'm going to break it, all right, that forces my arms into external rotation so that the armpits face forward. We're going to get your feet just under your shoulders. All right, get your nice bar position there. And then you're going to just descend, hips and knees descend. Try to get to parallel. Now, if you start to falter and come forward a little like this, maybe stop it there, all right? Because we really want to fight for this overhead position. Head through if you can do it. So, I push it up, breaking my bar overhead. I'm going to descend. Try to keep that chest nice and high, and then stand up. So if I can only get to here before I start to really come forward, fight for that shoulder overhead, and then stand up with it. So fight for that overhead position before you fight for depth in your squat today. After that comes the sumo deadlift high pull. So we're going to use a little bit of weight with that. So find your heavier odd object. I'm going to use my 25-pounder. This one you want to get a nice wide stance, pretty far outside your hips. So when I come down, well, we'll place the weight on the floor. That's where it's going to start from. So I'm hinging at the hip. Everything's pulled in tight like I'm going to do a deadlift. All right, I'm hinging at the hips. I need a little more knee bend to get to my lower dumbbell. It's not on a barbell up here, so I'll come down. All right, I'm going to keep my arms and elbows straight. Keep the weight close to my body as I come up. I'm going to extend the hips and knees, then shrug, and then the elbows come up. So we're using that hip extension. I'll show you one in real time. Here we go. To pull that weight up, to assist that weight up, all right? Your elbows are going to come higher than your shoulders. From the front, it looks like this. Nice and wide, okay? I'm pulled in tight. Weight's close to me, weight's close. And I'm using that hip extension to pull those elbows up nice and high. Then you will rest a minute, and then you're going to use your 3 rounds of your dumbbell rows. I want you to use 2 dumbbells, so I'll simulate. Got 2 moderate weight dumbbells here. I'm going to do those bent over rows, so get that nice flat back position. Everything's pulled in tight. I'm going to first engage the lats, squeeze the shoulder blades, then the elbows. So shoulder blades, elbows. Not this, not this, all right? Shoulder blades, elbows bend. That's a row, okay? We're using the right muscle for that. You'll do, then you're gonna move on to your frog jump. Jumping from the floor, keep the feet just outside the hips, all right? Our tummy's nice and tight here, coming down to the ground. You can come a little closer, depending on how your hamstrings are feeling, and then hop it out nice and wide. I don't want to let my low back arch, okay? We don't want to sag. We keep it up nice and tight, And then I'm gonna hop forward, nice wide legs, and stand up. Ideally, you want your legs, your feet to land outside your hands when you jump forward, but just making sure that you keep them nice and wide. You may not have the flexibility in your hips to get outside your hands, to get that close. So hands to the floor, pop it out nice and tight, pop it in, stand up, squeeze the glutes at the top. If you're doing that from an elevated surface, same thing, hands and feet. All right, I'm gonna place the hands on my couch or chair. I'm gonna hop back nice and wide, keep my tummy tight, hop forward, then stand it up. All right, so pick your version, record your scores, and have fun.